Final Fantasy VII. Hey guys, what the fuck is up, you guys? My name is eManDan642, and welcome to a review of one of the greatest RPGs and one of the greatest video games of all time. I played this game for the first time last year. Obviously, I'm really late to the party, but it was worth it. It is very rare that a game hits me as hard as this game did. I would consider this one of my favorite games of all time now. Definitely in my top 10. This is one of the most popular and most influential games of all time. It popularized the RPG genre in the West. This game is now a staple for not only RPGs and not only video games, but for pop culture. I mean, Cloud Strife is almost as recognizable as Mario, Link, or Sonic. Final Fantasy VII is a huge game, and there is a lot to cover. It's really insane how big this story was, especially for a game at the time. There was no game like it yet. There's so much I could talk about, but I will start where the game begins. The game starts with Cloud Strife, who joins the terrorist group Avalanche. Cloud is an ex-soldier, first class, a part of Shinra's military force. Avalanche is composed of Cloud's childhood friend Tifa Lockhart and Barrett Wallace, along with some other people that don't really matter. The beginning of the game takes place in the massive city of Midgar that is run by the megacorporation Shinra. All you need to know at first is Shinra bad. They are powering Midgar with Mako energy, which is a part of the life stream, basically the planet's life force. So Shinra is bad. They are thriving off the planet as well as the people's suffering. The elites live in the upper part of Midgar in wealth and luxury, and everyone else lives in the terrible lower level of Midgar, the slums. This part of the city is desolate, overpopulated, and all around terrible. The group Avalanche, obviously part of the slums, is trying to stop Shinra and protect the planet. The game actually starts with Cloud's first mission with Avalanche. Their mission is to destroy one of the Mako reactors that harnesses the Mako energy. Cloud first joins as a mercenary, only taking the job for money, at first. I really like this setup for a plot. I really like anti-corporation and pro-environment stories. The lines of good and evil are blurred, kinda, and I love when stories have that setup. Shinra is clearly a terrible organization. They plan on growing their business while hurting many people's lives as well as the planet. But I love how the so-called good guys commit acts of terrorism against the government. They are the group that is fighting for what is right, no matter the methods. You spend a good amount of time in Midgar. You see the terrible slums. You see all the desolate and abandoned places. You visit places that have turned their wreckage into actual towns. I love that you could see the thriving life in Final Fantasy VII, and that is no more evident than in Midgar. There is life all around you, and it's the depressing beauty that makes this game so engaging. Everything I just explained is so well represented in the game's graphics. This game was one of the best looking games ever, at the time. Nowadays, it looks very dated and honestly kind of really bad, but this game looks great to me. I love the game's graphics and style. There's something about it that feels so calming and nostalgic. The character models are iconic nowadays, and the fucking pre-rendered backgrounds, I fucking love the pre-rendered backgrounds. At first, I did not like them, and I thought they looked jarring and bad, but after a while, they started to grow on me. I started to really like them. They have a certain charm to them that I love. Each background has so much detail to them. They are so memorable too. Take any one of them out of the game and I'll probably still remember what it is and where they were. It's a game that even after many years, it holds up. Obviously, not in terms of graphical quality, but it's one of the most iconic games of all time. And the graphics are a big part of that. Most games nowadays blend together. They lack a signature style that makes the game what it is. It makes Final Fantasy VII all the more immersive. There's a certain way the game makes you feel. With the more closed-in locations that have the camera pulled in to focus on Cloud, contrasting with the more open environments that have the camera pulled out, showing more of the world. It shows the closeness as well as the vastness of the world of Final Fantasy VII. This is a game that affects many, many lives, everyone on the planet. This is also a story about Cloud and his struggles. I love how the game balances all of these stories aspects so perfectly. I won't get into it now, but I will later. Like I said earlier, Final Fantasy VII was the game that brought JRPGs into the mainstream in the West. The RPG genre is a lot more complicated and technical than your standard Mario. And you know us poo-poo stupid Americans can't play hard games, so RPGs are too skitty. Final Fantasy VII changed that. Battles were really fun and engaging, and it could still get really hard at times. I can't really say about older Final Fantasy VII games because I haven't played any of them yet. RPGs are an odd genre. I love the huge worlds and the extensive stories they provide. It wasn't until I played the Mother trilogy and later this game that I realized how much I really love RPGs. I've never been a huge fan of the turn-based combat in RPGs. I like them, but they could get a little too repetitive and boring in some games. Pokemon Black and White and Black and White 2 are some of my favorite games of all time, yet I still feel it has that issue. Most RPGs do. This game makes it exciting though. In older games, battles took place on a static screen and didn't look all too interesting. Battles in this game are fun and exciting. They look amazing. Every attack looks so fluid and weighted. Final Fantasy VII's battle system is very focused on materia. Throughout the game, you'll find these orbs called materia. Materia gives the user a special ability. These range from simple magic spells like fire, lightning, or ice, to command materia that could add effects to the user's actions. Many of these materia you can combine to change how battles play out. There are tons of options on what you could do, and this adds another level of replayability and options on how to play. There are so many ways you could play, and it makes the game really fun. A lot of RPGs lack a reason to battle aside from getting XP, but this game makes it very fun and rewarding to play. Like when playing this game, I would go out of my way just to test the materia, and it was really fucking fun. The system makes it easier for newcomers to pick up and play, but at the same time, this is a great expansive mechanic that adds so much more depth to the game. Aside from materia, the battles are really fun. This isn't your average turn-based RPG. It has active time battles, meaning the battles are always moving forward. It takes the battles to a whole nother level. It always keeps the battles engaging and fun.
This game looks so old. Why don't you play a good game like Call of Duty or Fortnite? Shut up.
So back to the story. Cloud and Avalanche bomb one of Shinra's Mako reactors, and Cloud meets Aerith Gainsborough, who is the last surviving descendant of the Cetra. The Cetra were the planet's caretakers who lived on the planet about 2,000 years ago. At that time, a meteor crashed into the planet. That meteor contained the alien entity known as Genova. Genova wiped out the entire Cetra race, and the remaining Cetra sealed Genova away in the North Crater for 2,000 years. This is all very important. So after Avalanche attacks the Mako reactor, the Turks, who are the elite Shinra hit squad, literally fucking drop Sector 7 of Midgar and kill thousands of people. So Shinra is trying to find this fabled promised land filled with Mako energy. But the Cetra are the only ones who were able to access it. So they kidnap Aerith and take her to Shinra HQ. Cloud, Tifa, and Barret break in to rescue her. Here we are first kinda introduced to the character of Sephiroth, one of the greatest villains of all time. We've heard his name a handful of times, but up to this point we have no clue on who or what he is. He has a very complicated past. He is a mystery at first, but here's what we know so far. He calls Jenova his mother. Jenova is being kept at Shinra HQ, and Sephiroth is now reawakened. He murders the president of Shinra, then leaves. Right off the bat, Sephiroth is an amazing, mysterious, badass villain. He wasn't shown until about 10 hours into the game, and I really like that. He's a character you don't even see that much, but every time he does show up, you know it's important. After rescuing Aerith and a cool-ass wolf named Red 13, the gang escapes Shinra HQ in an awesome motorcycle chase. Now, after this point, you leave Midgar and the whole world opens up to you. This was actually pretty shocking to me. I thought the whole game took place in Midgar, but then this happens. So much opens up after this, from a ton of new towns and cities and dungeons and of course the story. The story went from being about Shinra and stopping them to stuff about Sephiroth and the planets, the meteor and the weapons, and of course Cloud. So much is thrown at you when the game opens up and it's amazing. It's also really jarring to see this beautiful, lush world after coming from Midgar. It's a great contrast and it works really well with expanding the story. It shows the sheer beauty of the planet, which, if you don't know, the planet is very important in the game. That comes right after Midgar, which shows the damage that the humans are doing to the planet. So after they escape Midgar, Red 13 takes them to Cosmo Canyon. They learn about the Lifestream and how it's slowly dying out because of Shinra. A lot of stuff happens after this point, but the main objective is finding Sephiroth. I love how this character is handled in the game. You don't even see him until after you leave Midgar. You actually don't even see Sephiroth that much in the whole game. But it works in his favor, keeping him a mystery and a threat. He wouldn't be such an antagonizing villain if we did see him much more often. Also, the first time he's actually revealed plays a lot into how we view him. After resting at an inn, Cloud tells the story of his encounter with Sephiroth. So in this playable flashback, we see Cloud when he was still a soldier. So Cloud is a member of Sephiroth's squad. They are sent on a mission to Cloud and Tifa's hometown, Nibelheim. We are shown that Cloud has a lot of respect for Sephiroth and was the reason that Cloud joined Soldier in the first place. We are shown the true sheer power of Sephiroth through a battle. In said battle, Cloud can barely make a dent on this enemy, and Cloud kills it in one singular hit. This is a great way to show how godlike Sephiroth really is. At first, Sephiroth feels like another casual party member, but that all changes when exploring the basement of the Shinra mansion. Sephiroth discovers that he is the result of a genetic experiment combining the cells of Jenova with his own. When Sephiroth finds this out, he goes mad. He reunites with his mother, then burns down Nibelheim to a crisp, killing everyone in it except Cloud and Tifa. Cloud temporarily kills Sephiroth, but he creates a new body in the North Cavern, which is the one we will see in the present. Knowing this makes the stakes a lot higher because of Cloud's personal relationship with Sephiroth. Throughout the game, there are some inconsistencies. Not with the game itself, but with what we learn about the story. Mainly from Cloud. Cloud, up to this point, has been shown to be a badass motherfucker. A hero. A protagonist. But there is always something off about him. Not everything lines up. The gang heads to the Temple of the Ancients. They meet Sephiroth there, and he manipulates Cloud into giving him the Black Materia. Sephiroth needs the materia in order to summon the ultimate destructive magic meteor to hurt the planet so Sephiroth can gain access to the Lifestream. Okay, this is the spoiler section, even though everyone knows what's about to happen. So Aerith goes to the City of the Ancients and summons Holy, the only magic that can stop Meteor. But she is killed by Sephiroth. Everyone has seen the scene of Aerith's death. It's the Darth Vader is Luke's father of video game spoilers. I fully knew it was going to happen when playing the game, but when I actually experienced her death, it was still just as impactful as if I didn't see it coming. We spent the entire game watching Aerith grow and her relationship with Cloud grow. She is such a pure, good character who now sacrifices her life in order to save the planet. This just makes the journey to kill Sephiroth even more important. Everyone knows about Aerith's death, but what follows is something that was completely unexpected to me. Cloud heads to the North Crater to fight Sephiroth, but Sephiroth reveals the game's biggest mystery. Up to this point, Cloud has been a cool, heroic hero, right? He was brave and tough. He was a cool, edgy, sword-wielding anime protagonist. But all that is shattered in a matter of minutes. Sephiroth reveals that all of Cloud's past has been a lie. A lot is revealed here, but we don't know what is true and what is not true. Sephiroth tells Cloud that he's just another Sephiroth clone. But is that true? No, it's not. Cloud is real. The broken Cloud gives Sephiroth the black materia and he summons Meteor. This awakens the weapons, these huge monsters that the planet created in order to protect the planet. They start destroying towns and killing a bunch of people. I mean, Shinra are the ones who are killing the planet, so fair enough. Cloud falls into the lifestream and Tifa and Barret are captured and to be executed. Tifa and Barret break out and eventually find Cloud, who is in a deep coma after the major Mako poisoning. The ultimate weapon attacks and Cloud and Tifa fall into the lifestream. Tifa finds his way into Cloud's subconscious and she figures out what is true and what isn't. So throughout the whole game, we thought Cloud was a first-class soldier, the top of the top. But he wasn't. He was only a common foot soldier. There is another character that is revealed, and that is Zack. Zack was the real hero. He was the first-class soldier. He was everything that Cloud wasn't. Zack and Cloud were best friends. During the Nibelheim incident, Cloud was not there. Zack was. Cloud was only the guard. Everything happened the same as we knew, except Zack was there, instead of Cloud. After Sephiroth burns down Nibelheim and Cloud temporarily kills Sephiroth, Cloud and Zack escape but are chased by Shinra. Zack is killed protecting Cloud and gives him the Buster Sword. Cloud is not the strong, resilient warrior we know. So the Nibelheim incident, the Mako poisoning, and Zack's death really traumatized Cloud. He creates a false past for himself where Zack never existed and Cloud took the place of him, being a first-class soldier. Cloud is a hurt character. I love that we see how Cloud is not a perfect character. He is weak mentally and physically, but he grows in the game. He learns to accept himself for who he is. As someone who personally dealt with my fair share of mental health issues, this game does a great job at portraying this topic. I love the message of overcoming your struggles and coming out as a better person and accepting yourself for who you are. The message that you are enough. That Cloud is enough. Cloud feels a lot more human now. He is more open, more vulnerable, more weak, but those weaknesses make him stronger, if you get what I'm saying. Cloud and Tifa come out of the lifestream. They head to the North Crater to kill Sephiroth. After fighting Genova in an awesome boss fight, they fight godlike Sephiroth. This fight is really fucking good. One of the greatest final boss fights in any video game ever. It's also really fucking hard. After defeating God Sephiroth, Cloud heads down to kill shirtless Sephiroth. This is the true final boss fight. I love how the final boss is not God Sephiroth, but it's human Sephiroth. And it's just Cloud. It's not only a fight against Sephiroth, it's a fight against Cloud's insecurities, his weaknesses, and his faults. Killing Sephiroth represents Cloud overcoming everything that brought him down, and it feels so good to finally kill Sephiroth. Everyone escapes the crater, and Holy and Lifestream combine to destroy Meteor. Final Fantasy VII was a big deal 24 years ago, and it's a big deal 24 years later. We had a remake of this game last year, and it was one of the most anticipated games of the year. The story is like none other I've ever seen. The gameplay is fun and engaging. The themes are ones I think everyone should hear. This is a game everyone should experience. I am going to give Final Fantasy VII a 10 out of 10. I have a lot of water bottles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One just fell. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 over there. Can you see? 13. There's 13 over there. Alright. Fuck. This is a masterpiece of a game. I'd probably say this is the greatest JRPG I have ever played. RPGs are not a very accessible genre unless you're playing something like Pokemon, but this is a game like no other. It's not a hugely long game, about 40 hours. I cannot stress this enough, the fact that this is a life-changing game. Now go play it. If you haven't already. If you have not, then why'd you watch this review? Just go fucking play this game, man. Like, I've given so far I've given one other game a 10 out of 10. I mean, that was more personal preference. Like, I gave Professor Layton in the Unknown Future a 10 out of 10, but that was just pretty subjective, not gonna lie. That game is not perfect, but this game, just go fucking play it. This has been Final Fantasy VII. Fuck you.